Welcome back to the Carnivore Chicks. My name is Patricia, and on this channel we talk everything health, nutrition, and fitness. Over the years, young male T levels have been steadily declining. In fact, it's estimated that over 30 million men have a problem with erectile dysfunction. When males are faced with low T levels, it can lead to physical changes like increased body fat, decreased bone muscle mass, weaker bones, fatigue, and inefficient cholesterol metabolism. Low T also causes insomnia, sleep apnea, trouble concentrating, depression, and a decreased sex drive. Now, with the current dietary recommendations, food availability, modern lifestyle, exposure to technology, there's no surprise that men are increasingly suffering from low T. We want to help more men increase their T levels and live a healthier life. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about how testosterone works and some potential reasons you may have low T. But before we get into it, please help us destroy the YouTube algorithm and hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Now let's get into it. So how does T work in the male body? To better understand this, we need to know what the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis is. So we don't get our tongues twisted, we're going to refer to this as the HPA axis. This axis links the hypothalamus, the pituitary gland, and the adrenal glands together. The hypothalamus links the nervous system to the endocrine system via the pituitary gland. The hypothalamus's general purpose is to release neurohormones to either stimulate or inhibit actions of the pituitary gland. Some more common features of the hypothalamus are controlling hunger, sleep, fatigue, and circadian cycles. The next part of the HPA axis is the pituitary gland. It is responsible for the secretion of vital hormones in the body like growth hormone, thyroid stimulating hormone, adrenocorticotropic hormone, beta endorphin, prolactin, luteinizing hormone, follicle stimulating hormone, intermendins, oxytocin, antidiuretic hormone. The last step of the HPA axis is the adrenal glands. These are located atop your kidneys. Their primary responsibility is to release hormones such as cortisol and catecholamines. In other words, they release cortisol, adrenaline, and noradrenaline. But that's not the only responsibility of their adrenal glands. They're also responsible for the secretion of androgens. And androgens are male steroid hormones, or in other words, testosterone. Now that we have this axis figured out, let's talk about one more axis, the HPG axis. This is also called the hypothalamic pituitary gonad axis. This is the axis that connects the hypothalamus and pituitary gland to the gonads. This is a general explanation and doesn't go deeply into it like many endocrinologists or even neurologists study it, but we want to provide a base for general understanding and not get lost in the details for the sake of providing details. Okay, now that we know these axes, how is testosterone produced? For this, it helps understand feedback loops. There are both positive and negative feedback loops. These loops show how the body is regulating itself to have a level of homeostasis. Testosterone is produced beginning in the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus released gonadotropin-releasing hormone. This acts on the pituitary gland to produce luteinizing hormone and follicle-stimulating hormone. LH hits the bloodstream and then travels to the testicles where it then attaches to the Leydig cells and through its own processes turns cholesterol into testosterone. As T levels rise, the amount of LH production slows down. This is what we call a negative feedback loop. The body is constantly regulating itself. The other gonadotropin follicle stimulating hormone also is part of the negative feedback loop. FSH is primarily responsible for the production of sperm in the Leydig cells in the testes. So now we know how testosterone is produced, but what happens in the body after it's produced? After testosterone is produced, it is released into the bloodstream. This is called free testosterone. It's called free because the T is not bound to any proteins. But as we talked, our body regulates itself with these feedback loops. So when testosterone is produced and released into the bloodstream, our liver goes to regulate the amount of T throughout our body by releasing sex hormone binding globulin. This protein's sole responsibility is to regulate the free testosterone in our bodies. Once this protein binds to a free testosterone, the T doesn't have any more influence on a cell. The more sex hormone binding globulin in the bloodstream, the fewer testosterone reach cellular targets. It's said about 98% of free testosterone is bound to either SHBG or albumin, and when it's bound to these, it can no longer enter cells. So that leaves about 2% of free T that is actively able to enter the cells. When activity stimulates it, androgen receptors in the muscles bind to free T. Now, when free T is bound to an androgen, it is able to enter DNA. And when it enters the DNA, testosterone really begins to shine because there's muscle growth, increased muscle tissue, facial changes, beard growth, and so many benefits of testosterone. So now that we have a basic idea of how T works, what are some signs of having low T? So that is irritable bowel syndrome, fibromyalgia, major depressive disorder, low sex drive. It can be alcoholism or chronic fatigue or even bipolar disorder. And the list continues on. So what are some major causes of low T? Well, aside from tumors, trauma, or a buildup of toxins, a big reason for low T is the deficiency in micronutrients. So micronutrients are the vitamins and minerals our body needs to live. One very important micronutrient that is important for T levels is boron. Boron is a lesser known micronutrient, but it definitely holds its weight on importance. Boron is a rare mineral, but is a natural testosterone booster. One study, supplementation of boron for vitamin D, showed an increase in free T by 29.5% in 2 months. Ways to get boron in a diet naturally is through avocados, peaches, oranges, carrots, and also raw honey. Another micronutrient essential for T production is vitamin A. Vitamin A is found inside the testicular Sertoli cells in retinol form, and when needed is converted into retinoic acid. Some studies in animal trials have shown that if there's low or no vitamin A, T levels drop and estrogen levels rise. And vitamin A is crucial to utilizing dietary fat. Vitamin A can be found in beef liver, cheese, and butter. Micronutrient deficiencies are not the only reasons males can struggle with low T levels. There's also excess alcohol that causes low T. So how does alcohol lower T? Well, one of the most popular reasons alcohol reduces T levels is because of oxidative stress. Alcohol can cause oxidative damage to the Leydig cells and other bodily tissues. In turn, this leads to a reduction of T in the testes and a destruction of free testosterone. Another way alcohol reduces T is through metabolizing ethanol. When we drink alcohol, our body is metabolizing ethanol, and ethanol lowers the amount of coenzyme nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide inside the liver and testes. This is an essential part needed for the production of testosterone. Alcohol also releases beta-opioid endorphins, which have a negative effect on T. Lastly, alcohol increases estrogen levels. It does so by boosting activity of the aromatase enzyme, which converts testosterone into estrogen. Now, this isn't to say never to drink alcohol again. Having a drink here and there won't make too much of a difference in T levels. But if you're drinking every night or getting hammered multiple times a week, then you're probably tanking your T levels. Another cause of low T is soy consumption, and take a look out for next week when we have our video series on soy. Alright, now let's get back to the video. So soy contains isoflavone phytoestrogens. 2 phytoestrogens are diazen and genistein. Dr. Kenneth Setchell from Colorado State University discovered a molecule called equal in 1982. This compound is formed in the gut when we eat isoflavones. Men who consume a lot of soy have high amounts of this in their bloodstream. Equal has strong anti-androgen effects. It shuts down completely even the most potent androgens. Soy is not our friend and definitely is more subpar when it comes to a protein consumption. Animal proteins are far superior than soy proteins. Soy has been shown to metabolize quickly in the gut before reaching muscle tissue with significant proportion of amino acid oxidation, which can occur in the liver. Low T doesn't have to affect so many men, and it certainly can be fixed. It just takes a few adjustments and perhaps a little bit of humbling, but it is something that can be reversed. Alright folks, that's it for today. If you like this video, please help us out by subscribing to our channel and destroying that like button so that this video can be recommended to more people. And if you haven't already, please follow us on Instagram. We post there pretty much daily. With that being said, see you next time and keep it rebellious.